Helen Nagila. Oh my God. We love you, huh? Oh my God.
Welcome. Wash tape. Namaste. Blessings be. I trust everybody had a nice tranquil and peaceful meditation.
Oh, yeah.
Good. You're welcome. We come today to this place of oh such holiness. We bless this day in the name of the Father, in the name of the Son, and in the name of the Holy Toast. Actually, I need someone to help me with this one. Martha, would you help me? Thank you. Thank you so much. Very, very gentle. Very gentle. Hold it to the universe. Okay, hold on just 1 second. I've got a little higher. 2 cubits by the square root high. Right, yes, perfect. Okay, now we're ready.
We have communion.
Be gentle. Oh, Holy Toast, we thank you for the sacrifice you make for us. We know the wisdom of the toast, and we say yes to late night peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And we acknowledge that you have shown us the way to make stuffing at Thanksgiving. And we thank you again to the French for exalting you to such a high place on the menu. Not to disrespect our Belgian friends and their waffles. We know that through you, the Holy Toast, that we are sustained. Yeah.
No.
What did you do?
What did you do?
You know you're gonna have to clean that up, right? Sit down, you made a mess. Have a seat. Okay, you can eat that. It's good to eat. So as we continue with our holiest of holy ceremonies, remember everything is about balance. About balance. Balance is everything. So we have things here. We have lavender. And this is for the feminine. Coyote lives with me. We light the lavender to honor the feminine and the receptivity and the nurturing and the softness. For they are also the nurturers and the gatherers. We honor the feminine for all these things, for being what becomes the grandmothers, the holiest of places to be. And also, for they are the keepers of the boobies. And this is very important. Now, the masculine. We like copal. We like copal for the masculine. And for the action that we see in the brothers. and for that warrior spirit within them. Ah. And for the hunter. Ah. We also like this, so we may gain more understanding in their constant obsession with the boobies. Everything is balance. Everything is balance. And a little fairy dust. For good measure. Not too much. This is very strong stuff, guys. I learned my lesson the hard way. I used just a teensy weensy too much. I was singing show tunes for 2 weeks. And now I have all these scarves I just don't know what to do with. Never mind about the incident with the men's bobsled team from Australia. Those boys. Yeah. Before that. Remember, guys, just a little bit of this. But you know, we all have our own cross to bear, so. Remember, just sprinkle a little bit. It helps you match. It's the only reason I keep it here. If it wasn't for this, I would never match when I dressed myself. So not too much though. And if you sprinkle just a little bit more, you'll be able to go shopping with your wife without being bored. You might even enjoy it. Be very careful of the scarves. You're going to be very vulnerable in this position. So just to know. Now to close our opening ceremony. We cleanse with holy water. This has been blessed by me, a Buddhist monk, 2 priests, and a hooker. I don't know why the hooker was there, but hey, they can bless things too. Blessing. Blessing. I was here very late last night. I think I got my stuff mixed up. Yes, that was what I was rinsing my teeth in. Sorry. That must be a holy water. That's okay. Blessing. So, at this point, you may be thinking, what the hell is he doing now? This is about Heyokah. So what is Heyokah? Now, everybody knows that I always put this on my right. So this is a day of opposites for me because I'm having to look to the left and it's really throwing me off. But hey, it's perfect timing for Heyokah. Because Heyokah is about opposites. It's about irreverence. And it's the trickster. Coyote is the animal totem of Heyokah. And he is with me today. Of course, you didn't expect him to not show up, right? So, it's about the irreverent clown. Being willing to do anything to break down our own boundaries, to break down the boundaries between our own spirituality and just being a human being and have fun. It's the sacred teacher of poking fun at anything and everything to bring a lesson from spirit. It's about learning how to take ourselves not too seriously, or our spirituality, or even this earth walk itself with all of its tragedies that may occur. George Carlin was the master of Heyokah medicine. Nothing was too sacred for him. Nothing. And if you listen to him, some people started getting offended with him at the end of his career because nothing was sacred for George Carlin. Pop those bubbles on purpose. Cross the dogmatic boundaries, especially when it comes to religion and ceremony, for they are the deepest part of our lives. And they've been it's such a place of self-righteousness and piousness too. Heyokah teaches us to quit getting so offended and quit trying to be so politically correct. To everything there's a season. For example, 3 blondes died and are on the pearly gates of heaven. St. Peter tells them that they can enter the gates if they can answer one simple question. So St. Peter asks the first blonde, "What is Easter?" The blonde replies, "Oh, that's easy. It's the holiday in November when everybody gets together, eats turkey, and are thankful." "Wrong," replies St. Peter, and proceeds to ask the second blonde the same question. "What is Easter?" The second blonde replies, "Easter is the holiday when in December when we put up a nice tree, exchange presents, and celebrate the birth of Jesus." St. Peter looks at the second blonde in disgust, shakes his head, tells her she's wrong, and then peers over his glasses to the third blonde. The third blonde smiles confidently and looks at St. Peter in the eyes and says, "I know what Easter is. Easter is the Christian holiday that coincides with the Jewish celebration of Passover. Jesus and his disciples were eating at the Last Supper, and Jesus was later deceived and turned over to the Romans by one of his disciples. The Romans took him to be crucified. He was stabbed in the side, made to wear a crown of thorns, and was hung on a cross with nails through his hands. He was buried in a nearby cave, which was sealed off by a large boulder." St. Peter smiles broadly and brightly. And then the third blonde continues. "Every year the boulder is moved aside so that Jesus can come out. And if he sees a shadow, there'll be 6 more weeks of winter." Now, I know that probably crossed the boundary with somebody. Someone, I mean, no offense to anyone, but that's what this is about. And I know it's a sacred holiday, but if that's the point of Heyokah, so forgive me if I offended you. I know I should show no disrespect towards Groundhog Day. And again, that's the point, right? I mean, real quick, off the top of your head, what do you call a dog with no legs? Nothing. He's not going to come anyway. It's about making fun of what's uncomfortable as well. It's about making fun of yourself so you don't get caught up in the drama. It's about doing it through opposites and tricks. The Zen master once told me to do the opposite of everything he told me, so I didn't. Don't think too hard on that one, you might get a headache. So what is this holy stuff? Let's do a little tour of the table. This is the tail feather of a hawk. These are the tail feathers of a Cooper's hawk. These are the messengers in Native American philosophy. This is sweetgrass. These are my first set of tinctures. Those are only the flippers they gave me while these were being made, so they haven't been in my mouth for 4 years. Rabbit fur, amethyst, 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 coyote, turtle. This is a talking stick with owl and an owl talon. Nobody licked this, right? Okay, because I clean my litter box with this. It scoops real good. But if you're going to, owl is a representative of change, and if you're going to talk, I want to hear your change, what you're going to talk about, your changes in your life. That's why this is put together this way. These are all my balls. I've got meditating balls, healing balls, and juggling balls. Everyone should have balls. Holy fork. Over there. This is a holy Bible. This is another holy Bible. It's a newer one and it's blue. Buddha, feathers, rattlesnake, white buffalo. To Native Americans, this is a very powerful little piece of medicine here. And I've got a very, 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 very little bit of it. It's probably the least amount of medicine I have, and it's probably the most powerful medicine in all my medicine, because it represents a day when we, the people, get the earth back. When we get to walk the way we want to walk, the way Spirit intended us to walk. That's what white buffalo represents. So it's not always about just joking around. Sometimes there's really sacred stuff in this. And sometimes there's not. This right here is the candle that made me holy. What? See, when I was young, I went to a seminary because I wanted to be a priest. And I was aspiring my whole life to become a priest. And I went and saw one of the most beautiful ordinations in a cathedral in Youngstown, Ohio. And it was one of the most awesome ceremonies you could possibly imagine being part of or visualizing, seeing. And that's what I knew I was going to be. I was going to take part in that beautiful, wondrous, elegant ceremony with gold everywhere, because that's the Catholic Church. There's gold everywhere. This cathedral was hundreds of years old. But I decided not to become a priest, and it took me 20 years to become a minister. And when I became a minister, I sat there and held this candle with the toilet paper around it so the wax wouldn't burn on my hand in a guy's living room because the place he rented fell through. It was the humblest of humbling ceremonies. Coyote was with me that day too. So you can judge me if I'm holy enough or not. That's up to you. But I've been ministering my whole life doing these kind of things, and that candle is what Spirit sent me. With the toilet paper. That's the same paper towel that was on it. The rubber band broke, so I put a hair tie. I'm keeping that forever, or until it melts. On this table, we see all these different things. We've got singing bowls. A lot of people meditate with things like this. We've got crystal. That's onyx, actually. These are meditating balls for getting into it and just going away and trying to keep them in a certain way that you're not worried about what you're thinking, getting to a place of Zen. But the very first lesson in Course in Miracles says, nothing I see in this room, on this street, from this window, has any meaning at all. The very second lesson is, I give everything I see in this room, in this street, from this window, meaning. So did that candle make me holy, or was I already holy? Or not? Because I try to be as unholy as possible. And I'll do ceremony for you when you're in a good way, when you want ceremony in a good way. So this is the part of, what does that mean to me? It's like, if anybody has, there's a lot of people that have coffee cups or different kind of cups around. What if you don't drink coffee? What is it? A teacup? If you don't drink tea. Plant holder. That's what I made when I quit coffee. Some toast in my mouth. So everything I give meaning to everything I see, and that's what religion and dogma does too. We give all the meaning to it. You think Jesus wasn't Heyokah? Heyokah is about backwards medicine. It's about popping the bubbles. You familiar with the healing pool of Bethesda? This is the parable of Jesus where him and his crew walking around, and they came upon the pool, the healing pool of Bethesda, and there was a man sitting there that was complaining that he couldn't get to the healing waters. And he was saying to Jesus, "Oh, please help me, oh, please help me. Every time I try, someone gets in front of me. I can't do it. I've been here for 38 years. And Jesus got pissed at him. If you look at this story, he yelled at him, and he yelled, "Pick up thy mat and walk." He wasn't being playful about it. 38 years? What the hell are you doing? It's right there in front of you. Pick up your mat and walk. Now, go. And the guy did. He believed, and he was healed. But he also did that on a Sabbath. He wasn't supposed to do that. The Pharisees didn't like this. And the guy who he healed didn't know who it was. He was like, "I don't know, some hippie and a bunch of groupies." I'm just doing what he said. He said to pick it up and go, and I did. Well, they didn't like that. They were like, "Hey man, Jesus Christ, what are you doing? You can't heal on a Sabbath." And you know what Jesus said to him? "My Father's been working up until now. Now I'm working." Whoa, that really pissed him off. You're likening yourself to God. You're equaling yourself to a God. We got to kill this guy. And they did. But that's a little bit later. There's another story where he craps all over their dogma. The story of the temple. He said point blank, "I will tear this temple down and rebuild it in 3 days." Think about the story of Holy Weekend. In 3 days, he got crucified, died, fought the devil, came back from hell, and came back to life. And what happened after that? A whole new religion. He destroyed their temple in 3 days. We built a whole new one. Now, that wasn't necessarily his intention, because he told Peter not to build any churches, but he knew what was going to happen. So that was him crapping on their dogma again. Do you think if Jesus came back, he'd like all the cross jewelry? Isn't that like going up to Jackie Kennedy with a little rifle pendant and going, "Hey, Jackie." That's Bill Hicks, by the way. I don't know. If you're going to have dogma, make it work for you. When I was a kid, I used to pray for a bike. And the nuns told me that's not how our Lord Christ works. So I stole one and prayed for forgiveness instead. Thank you, Jesus. It's about constantly making fun of stuff. Everything. Nothing is sacred in this. And it's all sacred. I'm giving it the meaning. When I need to stop and have that reverent moment, I can. People who have been around me enough knows that I can be having a prayer and then start cursing right in the middle of it and then go back to the prayer. It doesn't matter. There's a time and place for everything. That's what Jesus kind of did too. I mean, he did tear up the temple during Pax time. He tore right through it and threw things all over the table because he wasn't happy with how they were being. He became more irreverent in the temple than they were doing all their trading. He trashed the whole place. That was kind of backwards too, because what he was saying is, this is a house of God. This is my Father's house. You're supposed to treat it reverent. And then he went ballistic. Well, look at those lessons. He went backwards on them. Then there was when I was in seminary, we had a very powerful thing that happened. We had to do an exorcism on a dyslexic Satan worshiper. Yeah, he sold his soul to Santa. They're not all going to be, I'm not a good stand up here. It's about it's about having fun with it, guys. It's about making fun of it. There's nothing sacred. Heyokah is always trying to help us make fun and be less serious in life, and to not be so serious about our spirituality either. This is the sacred book, Sacred Path cards. Native American, different ceremonies, different things of Native America, like, Heyokah, Sundance, all kinds of different ceremonies. This book it goes along with the medicine cards. It was written by the same people, so you can do readings out of both books. But anyway, this is a story by the writer of this book. This is her. I learned my first coyote lesson in Mexico when Joaquin, my medicine teacher, wanted me to see how ridiculous my seriousness had become. We spent one whole day gathering dried cow dung, rabbit pellets, coyote, dog, and owl waste, and carefully placing each in an old tin bucket. The next day we spent mixing all of it together, crushing each part of it into powder, and slowly adding water to make a paste. After this was completed, I was told to mark a circle in the earth with string and a stick, making sure that circle was perfectly round. Then Joaquin told me to fill the tiny grooves in the soil with all the paste I had made from all the feces. I was very careful to make a perfect circle and not to let any of the circle be crooked. Joaquin praised my work and how careful I had been during the 2-day process. He then told me to enter the circle and sit in the center until I understood the value of the lesson. I sat there for at least 3 hours, thinking that maybe this was a way to contact the power animals. Finally, Coyote came into my consciousness, took one look at me, and rolled on the ground in side-splitting laughter. Coyote was laughing so hard he could not speak. I was fascinated. While still sitting in my circle of poop, serious as ever, in between his guffaws, Coyote spit out the words that taught me my lesson. For the past 3 days, you've been examining other people's shit, he screamed. Now you've surrounded yourself with it, and you are so serious you can't even see how ridiculous you look. I started to laugh at myself as I imagined how Joaquin must be rolling in hysterics at the joke he played on me. I wonder how he could have kept a straight face for 2 days. It finally came to me that I had spent the previous day worrying about the problems of others. All these worries had left me, in effect, sitting in a circle of other people's mental garbage. The lesson hit me hard, and I laughed until I was aching with no breath as tears ran down my face. It has taken me many years to master the lesson, and I still get sucked into the drama of others at times. Joaquin was an excellent teacher, and even now he will come to me in spirit and break my seriousness with more Heyokah antics. Again, that is Heyokah. We'll have a sit-in poo until we get it. But that is the gift of medicine as well, the ability to laugh at the worst part of your life and to deal with your own crap. And many of you know I just recently underwent something that had my plumbing rerouted, and I have a bag on the side of me right now. So I guess Spirit wanted me to play with my own crap for a while too. I don't even get paid for it. Leslie gets paid for playing with people's poo. So somewhere along the line, she really is involved in other people's crap. But I guess Spirit wanted me to play with mine for a while. I really haven't played with it this much since I was 2 years old. So if it helps me deal with it, I'm gonna be forced to do with it. I'm gonna have fun. Matter of fact, I was thinking of starting my own poo art and getting some attachments and putting on. But you know what? I'm so much into the Zen philosophy, I'm trying to let go of all attachments. So I need Jake back here with rim shots. Another bright side of it for me is traffic, though, because this is like right here. And if people piss me off, I can just whip it off. There you go. Cut me off again, I dare you. It's about making fun of the guys. Because as many jokes as I'm making right now, know that in the hospital when they told me this was going to happen, I was freaking out. It made me think I was not a man anymore, that I was not going to be loved, that I was not going to be whole. And those, they went quickly. Those are thoughts. I beat myself up for having a nanosecond thought. We're allowed to feel bad sometimes. We're even allowed to feel bad for yourself. And then you got to make fun of yourself right after it, because you can only stay so long in wallowing. And if you're going to wallow, do it on purpose. Have fun with it. Me and Mark used to do this all the time. We just sit there and wallow, 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 wallow. Do it until you can't do it anymore. Wallow, wallow, wallow. After a while, you just start cracking up laughing. You're going to get all tongue-tied and stuff. It doesn't matter. It's just let yourself have fun with it. Make fun of your own pain. Again, back to George Carlin. Nothing was too sacred for him. He made fun of cancer. I made fun of my own death. I made fun of TTP. I made fun of having a scrap bag on the side of my body. Whatever, it's a thing is what it is. I believe this is all an illusion anyway. I believe that I'm a spirit in a physical form having a go at it. And I'm just going with the flow of the show. And I'm not really sure, again, about the writers and what their plan is. You know, and if I could have a scene change, I would do it. But there might be the big director in the sky might have a bigger plan for me than I don't realize. So I'm just going to go with this for a while and see how it works out. You know, we as Americans think like we're the comedy experts here. We think we coined the market, cornered the market. Actually, Buddhists have been doing it for quite a while. Indian Buddhist Bhagavad noticed 6 degrees of amusement, ranging from sita, which was a faint smile, to afihasita, to laugh so hard that your jiggly parts wobble. Hence all the happy Buddha bellies. I was on my way to getting a big one too. Actually, I've had one for a while. This is, see, sometimes we think Monty Python or New York comedians did the self-deprecating humor. This is Buddhists, 2 Buddhist monks from 800 AD. And this is a contest. My life sucks contest. From Buddhist scholars Chao Chu and Wen Wan in 800 AD. Again, I did not make this up. Chao Chu, I am nothing but a donkey. Wen Wan, a donkey? You are so lucky. I am merely a donkey's buttocks. Chao Chu, actually, I dreamt that I could one day be a donkey's buttocks. At the moment, I am what comes out of the donkey's buttocks. Wen Wan, you are privileged. I'd give anything to be what comes out of a donkey's buttocks. For I am but a worm living in what comes out of a donkey's buttocks. And do you know why I'm there? Why? because I wanted to go somewhere nice for holidays. With that line, he won the competition. Another one, a monk on his journey home came to the banks of a wide, wide river. Staring hopelessly at the great obstacle in front of him, he pondered for hours on just how to cross such a wide barrier. Just as he was about to give up on his journey, he saw a great teacher on the other side of the river. The monk yells over to the teacher, "Oh, master, tell me how to get to the other side of the river." The teacher ponders for a moment, looks up and down the river and yells back, "You are on the other side of the river." They knew how to make fun, they knew how to play. That was the idea. Heyokah's going to pick on you, but it's in fun to teach you. Now, under some chairs, there's some envelopes. Since you're sitting to the closest one, you get that one. That fell. Coyote was with me last night. There's more tape on these envelopes to try to, there's 4. There's one close to you, there should be one close to you, and there should be one close to you. So they're numbered. I think it's under marked up.
Nope, see the inside?
Yeah, if it's 5. So, we're going to go in order. So number 1, Becky, go ahead and open yours. Huh?
No.
It's not going to explode or anything. No, I'm not that talented. There should be something else in there. So what do you have there?
A B
And
for Becky. A red reflector. An insole that looks like it lost.
so what's the message to you? Everybody try to help her out.
Why do you do this?
Because it's fun.
Be soulful.
Because I'm a clown.
Soulful and reflectful.
That's good.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's a good
Very good,
one.
Jules.
Be the reflection of your
Very good. I was going to say order reader, but.
Becky asked us not to tell people. Number 2. Don't look. C.
A blue reflector.
There's something else. So what's that mean?
What is it? What is it?
A little heart.
See the brightness in your heart?
Or the reflection of your heart, right? So, there's a 3 somewhere. Okay. What do you have? I'm having a lot of fun this week.
Eyeball.
Ah.
Wow.
And a reflector.
Ah.
And thoughts.
Ah.
Observe.
You just said it.
What?
Be the reflector.
Said I am the reflection of my thoughts.
I'm
Oh, okay.
reflection of my thoughts.
So number 4.
It's got to be better than toast.
That's holy toast.
That's
A
right.
holy toast. Be respectful.
What does it say? Read it.
Drop your expectations. Sometimes it's just an empty envelope.
That's right. It says, drop your expectations. Sometimes it's just an empty envelope. Like Heyokah. Sometimes the signs can figure it out, and sometimes there's no help at all. It's just an empty envelope. And sometimes it's about faith. It was flooding in California, and a man, as the floodwaters were rising, was on the stoop of his house, and another man in a rowboat came by. The man in the boat told the man on the stoop, bless you. Told the man on the stoop to get in and he'd save him. No, said the man. I have faith in God and will wait for God to save me. The waters continued to rise. He went to the second floor to escape when a man in a motorboat stopped by to help him. Get in, he said. I have come to rescue you. No, said the man, I have faith in God. God will save me and I will wait for him. The waters got so high, the man went onto his roof. A helicopter hovered over, lowered a ladder, and the pilot said, climb up, I am here to save you. No, he said, I will not get in. I am waiting for God to save me. I have faith. The waters still climb, the man drowns, and is in heaven before God, confused and hurt. Where did I go wrong? I had perfect faith in you, and you still let me drown. And God said, what are you talking about? I sent you 2 boats and a helicopter. We have to drop our expectations of how it's going to show up. And you know what you get when you drop your expectations? You get it all! All right, now for a closing prayer to end this day of holiness. Dear God Almighty, Lord of Lords, Great Spirit, one that is better than all, a wondrous deity to which I have worshipped blindly, devotedly, and ridiculously, Thou hast made me Thou hast made me small before you. Well, not really small, average maybe. Thou hast made me shrink in cold waters. Who wrote this thing? Oh, great photoplasm of the universe. Thou hast endowed me well with love. No, I don't need to close in prayer anymore. Thank you.